Good morning, dear students. Once again with our online classes, and the topic for today is class 10th ratio and proportion. So ratio and proportion we have been doing in class 6th, 7th, 8th also, and in 9th also it was there some uses. So for this chapter 7 ratio and proportion, first of all, what is the definition of ratio and proportion? Let us see. If A and B are two quantities of the same kind and with the same units such that B is not equal to 0, then quotient A upon B is called the ratio between A and B. The main part is quantities of the same kind and the same units. Quantities of the same kind and quantities with the same units. Ratio and proportion will always be with the same kind of objects and in the same units. Never in other units, never with the other objects. Okay, different objects cannot be there. Now, so in this ratio and proportion, A upon B will be written as A ratio B, and we will read it as A is to B. Okay, this is some common things. The quantities A and B are called terms of the ratio. A and B are the terms of the ratio. The first quantity A is called the first term and the second quantity B is called the second term. Second term or the consequent, first term or the antecedent. So the second term of the ratio cannot be 0. I have written here B is not equal to 0, so second term can never be 0. In ratio A ratio B, the second term B cannot be 0. In ratio B is to A, the second term A cannot be 0. If somewhere you get A ratio B, so B cannot be equal to 0. If B ratio A, then A cannot be equal to 0. Remember that. Now, if both the terms of a ratio are multiplied by or divided by the same non-zero number, ratio remains unchanged. These are some properties. If A upon B is there, A multiplied by M and B also is multiplied by M, so they will be equal. In the same way, if A upon B is there, A is divided by M, B is also divided by M, so there is no change, they are equal. So a ratio must always be expressed in the lowest terms. Both the terms of the ratio must be co-prime. Co-prime means if we have written 4 upon 8, it is not the proper ratio writing way. We need to write 1 upon 2. Okay, or something like 40 upon 80 is written, we need to cut this, we will get 4 upon 8, we will get 1 upon 2. So ratio will be written in the smallest form only. Now, ratio A ratio B and B ratio A cannot be equal unless A is equal to B. A ratio B is equal to B ratio A cannot be there unless we have a condition A is equal to B should be there. Okay, now some other properties and some other uses of this ratio and proportion chapter. Let us see. After solving some examples, let us do some questions also. Like one question is there, 3A plus 2B ratio 5A plus 3B is equal to, it is given 18 ratio 29. And what is the value of A ratio B? Question is asking for. Listen carefully. If we have 3A plus 2B upon 5A plus 3B is equal to 18 upon 29. We need to find the value of A upon B. So can we do the cross multiplication here? Yes, we can do. 29 3A plus 2B 18 into 5A plus 3B. Let us solve it. 29 to 3. 3 9 are 27, 3 2 are 6 and 2 8, so 87A plus 29 2 are 2 9 are 18, 2 2 are 4 and 1 5, 58B. 18 5 are 90A plus 54B. Okay, now A and B will be taken together. 58b is equal, sorry, minus 54b is equal to 90a minus 87a. So 58b minus 54b, that is 4b, is equal to 90 minus 87, that is 3a. So a upon b will be equal to 4 upon 3, or we can write a ratio b is equal to 4 ratio 3. This way we'll get the value. Now some more methods are there. Like we had 3a plus 2b ratio 5a plus 3b. You can divide it by a or divide it by b. Then also you can solve. Please see your books. Now, composition of ratios. Very important part. We need to find compound ratio, duplicate ratio, triplicate ratio, subduplicate, subtriplicate, and reciprocal ratio. The first is compound ratio. Duplicate ratio, triplicate ratio, then afterwards we have subduplicate ratio, then subtriplicate also is there. Just remember these, very easy they are. And one last, we have reciprocal ratio. Listen, compound ratio. For two or more ratios, the ratio between the product of their consequents, antecedents to the product of their consequents, is called compound ratio. Primary and secondary. I have told you A ratio B. If A upon B is there, then I told you second term, first term. First term A is called the antecedent and the second term is called consequent. So antecedent and consequence. For two or more ratios, if we have ratio A ratio B and C ratio D, listen carefully. If we have A ratio B and C ratio D, then compound ratio will be A multiplied by C ratio B multiplied by D. And if we have three ratios like A ratio B, C ratio D, E ratio F, then compound ratio will be A multiplied by C multiplied by E. First part, ratio B multiplied by D multiplied by F. Second part. Okay. This will be what? Compound ratio. Now, we have duplicate ratio. If we have a ratio A ratio B, it is a compound ratio of two equal ratios, you can say. Duplicate ratio is what? A compound ratio of the same ratio A ratio B. If we need to write duplicate ratio of A ratio B, then we can write A square ratio B square. Or duplicate ratio of A ratio B is what? Compound ratio of A ratio B and A ratio B again. So I told you compound ratio means A ratio B and A ratio B is A into A ratio B into B. So A square ratio B square is what? Duplicate ratio. In the same way, if we take any example like find a duplicate ratio of 2 ratio 3, then it will be duplicate ratio will be 2 square ratio 3 square. 4:9. Okay, simply you'll do the square of the numbers. Now another part is triplicate ratio. For triplicate ratio, once again the compound ratio of the same ratio of 3, a ratio b, a ratio b, a ratio b. If we need to find the triplicate ratio, that means a ratio b, a ratio b and a ratio b are there, and we need to find the compound ratio of these three. And compound ratio of these three means a multiplied by a multiplied by a, first term, first term, first term, ratio b multiplied by b multiplied by b, that is second term and second term of the ratio. It will be a cube ratio b cube. Okay, so now we have subduplicate and subtriplicate. Listen carefully. Subduplicate ratio means for any ratio a ratio b, if a ratio b is there and we need to find the subduplicate, subduplicate means under root a ratio under root b. Okay, and for subtriplicate ratio, if a ratio b is there and we need to find the subtriplicate, is cube root of a ratio cube root of b. Okay, remember that. If we take an example of subduplicate, like if ratio is there 9:16 and we need to find the subduplicate ratio, then under root 9 ratio under root 16, that is 3:4 will be the subduplicate. And for subtriplicate we need to find the cube root of. Now the reciprocal ratio. What is the reciprocal ratio? As it is very obvious by the name, reciprocal. If a ratio b is there, its reciprocal will be a ratio b, and we need to find the reciprocal. One upon a ratio 1 upon b, that is 1 upon a upon 1 upon b. It means b upon a, that is b ratio e will be the reciprocal ratio. Now some more properties of a ratio. Now we have proportion. For non-zero quantities a, b, c, d, what is proportion? For non-zero quantities a, b, c and d, they are said to be in proportion if a ratio b is equal to c ratio d. A, B, C, D will be set in the proportion if a ratio b is equal to c ratio d. Often we express it by this way and read as a is to b and c is to d. Now if a ratio b is equal to c ratio d, we can very easily say that a multiplied by d will be equal to c multiplied by b. So a multiplied by d is equal to b multiplied by c, means product of extremes is equal to product of means. Remember that. This formula we will use directly to solve the questions. Product of extreme is equal to product of means. Now it was all about proportion. In proportion we will have to find the second term, the third term or the fourth term, or the mean proportion we need to find. These kind of questions we will solve directly. Now continued proportion. Three non-zero quantities of the same kind and in the same unit are said to be in continued proportion if the ratio of the first to the second is the same as the ratio of the second to the third. In general, the non-zero quantities a, b, c, d, e. Okay. All of the same kind and in the same unit are in continued proportion a upon b, b upon c, c upon d, d upon e, in this way. Okay, So A, B and C are in the continued proportion. So we can write A ratio B is equal to B ratio C. If A, B and C are in continued proportion, okay, then we can write A upon B is equal to B upon C. That is B square is equal to AC, we can say. If A, B, C, D, E are in continued proportion, we can write A upon B is equal to B upon C is equal to C upon D is equal to D upon E is equal to E upon afterwards. Okay. Now, some very important part of this ratio proportion. There are very important properties of ratio and proportion. Okay, you can say proportion. The first property is yes. Some important properties of proportion. The first one is invertendo. Second one we have is alternando. Third one we have is componendo. Fourth one is dividendo. Okay. Now what is invertendo? If four quantities A, B, C and D form a proportion, if A ratio B is equal to C ratio D, that means if A upon B is equal to C upon D, then what is invertendo, what is alternando, what is componendo and what is dividendo, we have to discuss. So invertendo, alternando, componendo, dividendo in this A ratio B is equal to C ratio D is given. What is invertendo? If A ratio B is equal to C ratio D, that is A upon B is equal to C upon D, so we can say if A upon B is equal to C upon D, if we apply the invertendo property, we can say B upon A is equal to D upon C. That is, we can convert into the reciprocal. That is, we can say B ratio A is equal to D ratio C. This is invertendo property. Okay, remember that. Now alternando. Once again, if A ratio B is equal to C ratio D or A upon B is equal to C upon D, if we apply this alternando property, then we can say A multiplied by D is equal to B multiplied by C. So if A multiplied by D is equal to B multiplied by C, that means we can say A upon C is equal to B upon D. That is, A ratio C is equal to B ratio D is called alternando property. Now, very important and very useful, componendo and dividendo. If any ratio you have A upon B is equal to C upon D, or you can say A ratio B is equal to C ratio D, we have to apply this componendo. Componendo means A plus B upon B is equal to C plus D upon D, we can write. Or we can say A plus B ratio B is equal to C plus D ratio D. So this is called componendo property, and this one we will use directly in the questions. Now dividendo. If A ratio B is equal to C ratio D, how we got this? Let us see. Then we will discuss about dividendo. If A upon B is equal to C upon D, A upon B plus 1, C upon D plus 1. So we can say A plus B upon B is equal to C plus D upon D. This is called what? Componendo. Now in case of dividendo, once again, if A ratio B is equal to C ratio D, that is A upon B is equal to C upon D, if we subtract 1, we will get A minus B upon B is equal to C minus D upon D. This is called dividendo. Now if both dividendo and componendo or componendo and dividendo are being applied together or being divided, we get componendo and dividendo. This is the final and the fifth property, componendo and dividendo. What is that? Listen carefully. With the help of componendo and dividendo property, I have told you a plus b upon b is equal to c plus d upon d, a minus b upon b is equal to c minus d upon d. So dividing, let this be equation number 1, this is be equation number 2, dividing 1 by 2, dividing equation 1 by 2. Let us see what we will get. We will get a plus b upon b upon a minus b upon b is equal to c plus d upon d upon c minus d upon d. So b and d will be cancelled and we will get a plus b upon a minus b is equal to c plus d upon c minus d. This is called the componendo and the dividendo property. So for today's, in this video we had discussed all the properties of componendo, the ratio and proportion. In next video we will discuss